Namaskar. Welcome to our weekly episode with Sridhar Chityala ji. We are going to be talking about a very important topic as events keep unfolding of what really took place during the Obama 8-year administration and how he might have done a lot of not so good things, meaning bad things, and how he might still evade arrest. And that's where I think Sridhar ji, our guest of today, will probably shed more light on what is really going on here and where does this lead to. Is Obama's 8-year term the reason why US finds itself in such a mess today? All these and many other topics. Let's first welcome Sridhar ji, and please like this video. If you've not already subscribed to our channel, do subscribe to our channel. Sridhar ji, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel. How are you, sir?
Namaste ji, how are you? Wonderful. Good to see you. Fresh and enlightened. Sree ji.
Thank you so much, Sridhar ji. Sir, take it away, sir. Obama, is he going to jail or not? The crimes are very, very black and white, it appears. Sir, over to you.
Well, I think that we covered this story in 2016. When we covered this story in 2016 quite extensively, that actually dipped into 2020. Two books have been written by none other than Sree Iyer of PGurus on this specific topic. Well, all the can of worms began to unwind once 𝗟𝗡𝗙 𝗲𝗵 took over as the National Intelligence Director. And she's been looking at all the things that was going on during that period, notably 2016. She has now placed before the Department of Justice the evidence which points to significant amount of bogus intelligence. She claims manufactured bogus intelligence that has now been placed before the Department of Justice for criminal investigation and the onward momentum as a result of that. This prompted, we'll come to that in a second. This prompted President Trump in Scotland, where he has been spending over the weekend, to make the statement, which is to say, for all the criminal acts that Obama may have committed, SCOTUS will grant him the immunity and the presidential kind of powers that he's entitled to, so he may get away. But the fact that remains is the astonishing evidence that has been presented before the Department of Justice and the House Intelligence Committee. She directly blames Obama himself to be in the centerpiece of action involved to somehow nullify the election of 2016 election win of President Trump. And she names the National Director of Intelligence or National Intelligence Director, James Clapper. She also names the former CIA Director, John Brennan. Then she also names the FBI Director, James Comey, and a whole bunch of intelligence community officials, and how the CIA and the government officials were weaponized to manufacture this specific evidence. Remember, Hillary Clinton was repeatedly asked during that election, is there something surreptitious going on? She kind of dunked most of those the questions. Then from the intelligence community within CIA, Fred Fleitz, one of the intelligence analysts who was with CIA for more than 20 years, has come out in public and basically stated to, for example, Washington Times, that this is very, very unfortunate. This is very unfortunate how, there has been instances of the government and the administration being used, but what has happened once President Trump took over presidency and what happened under the Obama administration is nothing but short of shoddiness. He also names a couple of Democrats, most notably Adam Schiff, the Californian Democrat, who used this manufactured intelligence to his kind of advantage or to his benefit in politicizing incorrect piece of information that was manufactured. So obviously questions have been raised with John Brennan, most notably. He said, I have now lawyered myself and ready to face the consequences. But if the evidence has been presented by an ex-Democrat from the National Intelligence Department, and if internal officials from within CIA, current and retired, are coming out of the woodwork to make this claim, it is nothing but astonishing. We'll touch one more topic. I'll let Sree Iyer come in for a minute. And 𝗤𝗙𝗙 𝗍𝗏 has gone to the press and given interviews to Fox, Newsmax, and other channels on the same topic, Sriji. So this is not just a fly in the pie kind of situation.
Also, viewers, you should watch that monologue I did about 𝗤𝗙cị 𝗍𝗏 and how she was cast aside by Wasserman Schultz. She was the head of DNC, a total stooge of Hillary Clinton. And during the DNC of 2016, where Hillary was nominated to be the presidential candidate of the Democrats, a lot of bad things happened, especially 𝗤𝗙cị 𝗍𝗏 got actually pushed out, in fact, thrown out more or less from the DNC committee. She was, I think, co-chair or assistant chair or something like that, very high position. So it's sweet revenge indeed, but it's not just revenge. It's based on facts. And we have unearthed many of those things. The book, Who Painted My State Purple, talks about all that stuff. You can buy that book from our website, 𝗤𝗎𝗄𝗏.com, and you can read all about it. Sir, let's move on to the next topic. Unless you want to add something to that, sir.
No, there is one more side story that is going on, Sriji, which will also come out. There was a $400 million kind of what we call ransom money or settlement money as part of the $1.7 billion paid to Iran in 2016, around August 2016, in pellet boxes. Money in currency was sent for settlement and delivery same day to Iran in August 2016. That's also likely to kind of come up. And because Iran was not part of the what you call banking system that to deliver cash. They delivered cash in Swiss francs and Deutschmarks and whatever euros and so on, and that was delivered. And then Iran was brought back to the 2016 nuclear kind of discussions that again happened. And I think that is also being looked at during that election period. Clinton was asked about it. She says, I don't know anything about it. It's probably something government. Remember, she was, very much active and closely involved, but she made no reference. This is another significant story that could add to the tip. And United States is not supposed to pay ransom money. So the question that pops up is, was it? So according to the administration, it's not a ransom money. You can go back and ask the question, is all these Iran discussions, Iran nuclear talk and Iran, and many things that have happened during that particular period, post that period, again, which we have covered extensively in DGI, what is beneath all of this? That could also be the next story that's kind of coming up, post this investigation, Sriji.
Sarji, one wonders what was the reason? What is it that the Iranians had over President Obama that forced that $400 million ransom payment? Any guesses, viewers? You can put it down by way of comments. We know it. I mean, me and Sridharji knows about it. What exactly was the reason? And because if that came out, then a lot of other questions will come following up. Let's go to the next topic, sir.
Thank you. Well, our tariffs are failure. Why? The story is a great story, which is namely to say, the markets are going to tack. Inflation is going to shoot up. Sridhar Chityala and Sree Iyer are, the painting varnishes of President Trump. Guys, look at the facts, okay? Shed your political kind of nonsense behind and look at the facts. Don't blame, okay, people for presenting the facts. Thus far, United States has raked up close to $160 billion of tariff money. Those who want to negotiate, they have negotiated with and moving forward. Japan is negotiated, Vietnam is negotiated, UK is negotiated, And Trump has claimed now EU will be negotiated. Vietnam, even the smaller countries like Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia, they're not small economies, they're fairly good, decent sized economies. I think South Korea will be negotiated. And as we expected, the tariffs are between 15% and 25%. And most of the tariffs will move from an average 10% to 15% or 15 to 20% in some instances. The Japan, which was paying import duties of 1.4%, is now paying 13.4% for access and the profits that it has reaped over the years from access to the US market. This has brought in more than 150 to $200 billion of income to the US government. And President Trump is saying this is US taxpayers' money. And therefore, for many of the people who are in the economically stressed income bracket, I think some rebate checks are being contemplated. So your guess is as good as mine whether the tariffs are successful or not. The tariffs have been successful. We'll get to the India negotiations in the end, but I think that they are moving forward on the tariff agenda. $3 trillion of investments are likely to flow in. Japan has committed $500 billion of investment, some of which may go, some of which may go towards semiconductor manufacturing investments, including TSMC's investment into setting up chip factories in United States, provided that TSMC leverages some of the components from manufactured in Japan. So I think that they are rolling this forward. And similarly, the US Steel, a good chunk of profits are going to be reinvested in United States. And you are beginning to see the momentum of tariffs both on what he calls as the right taxation that the countries need to pay to access US markets and reciprocal, and then of course investments flowing into the country. So a poll that was conducted by none other than WSJ, which is the next slide, shows 11% lift in economic optimism. This is not anybody else but WSJ. 11% lift, and there's 47, this bipartisan, 47% of the registered voters believe that the economy is in a positive scale and in a very positive disposition relative to 36%, less than 2 months ago. So even on the economic side of the ledger, there is a positive disposition and a general feeling of economic movement forward coming from the public. And the battle with the Fed continues to bring the rates down, and that will be a slow process. That's a battle that Trump is not going to get Fed to roll over, but he's going to win that battle.
Next one, please, sir.
Right. So while this goes on, I mean, United States has not lost its eyes, because there are some troubled developments. Taiwan has had a poll. There's Cambodia, Thailand, skirmishes. There's still Philippines and China, and China-Taiwan tensions in the Taiwan Sea. So they have now the rim pack, or the rim of the Pacific drill, is going on. More than 90 nations are involved. 40,000 personnel are involved. A large number of them from the Guam Air Base, and conducting integrated drills in South China Sea, East Asia Sea, and as well as in around the Japanese Sea. So therefore, they're keeping an eye on the ball as it relates to some of the troubled areas which can spring up as a result of. Remember, China deal is not done, and China still has some issues with Taiwan. And of course, the North Koreans have also been waxing and waning their tail as it relates to what's happening in the Korean Peninsula. Recall, we covered in DGI, the Russian foreign minister threatening Japan, United States, and South Korea not to entertain any misadventure as relates to North Korea.
Next one, please. Sir.
Yes, Taiwan voters reject bid to oust. So there is close to is a very hairline majority between the
one seat, 52 versus 51, one seat majority for the ruling
coalition. So that's exactly KMT and TPP, Taiwanese People's Party, when combined together, they're 52. Otherwise, there's the Democratic Party, Left Democratic Party has more votes, but that doesn't help 𝗟𝗏 to control the agenda. Still, she's to some extent thwarted, but it also demonstrates Chinese footprint or access into how well they have been developing this resistance movement within and pro-China movement within Taiwan, and so that still lingers. And it's not great news. There's going to be another referendum coming up in August, but we don't believe that they're going to win. So they have to have this fractional or divided majority president with the ruling party, and then the government or the majority support with the coalition party creating problem. So this is the situation as far as Taiwan is concerned.
Next one, please, sir.
Yes, the Doha talks collapse. Senator Trump had said, has very clearly indicated Hamas is not for peace, and they are going to violate ceasefire, and they are going to walk away from ceasefire. That's exactly what has happened. They released, I think about 6 hostages have been released, but the story is their brinkmanship continues. And this is where Netanyahu has been right on the dot. He has not let the leash go away. He's keeping a tight control on managing Gaza. Along the same lines, around the same time, which is now, Iran has also said that it will not negotiate. It will not come back to U.S.-Iran nuclear negotiations. Why? It will not come because it wants to retain the right for proliferation, nuclear enrichment, and it wants to be part of the nuclear proliferation treaty. The enrichment to be under the nuclear proliferation treaty. Lo and behold, Iran's compliance to that. It has also told EU in discussions in Europe that it will only work to its terms and it cannot be made to force. Some of this brinkmanship is also as a result of this Russia-China kind of coalition trying to thwart any attempt to bring about a peace, giving Iranians the confidence, having suffered the punishment. Okay, and I think they got the break from the United States with the hope that they can generate a peace deal, and it's not going to happen. Now, when you go back to our first story, there's also some, hidden support coming from within United States, which also gives the right of brinkmanship to it.
Thank you, sir. Next one, please, sir. Most important one. I hope you have liked this video of yours. Yes.
Where do U.S. tariff discussions stand? I think that now, based on the weekend's kind of conversations and discussions that has completed, I think India feels now extremely, extremely confident and buoyant. This is the first time Mr. Goyal is talking about his personal friend, Scott Lutnick, and he is talking about an imminent deal. And I think India has been given a very long leash and very favorable leash to conduct and consummate the deal, even, as late as August to early September. Contrary to all the stuff around, whether it is dairy products and agro products and this and that and so on, India is asking for a better deal to it than its peers. The peers being Japan and, for example, Japan and Vietnam. Japan is 15%, Vietnam is 20%. It's saying we need the most preferential deal because we were the first people on the table we said we are open to trade and we are ready to negotiate and we are ready to open the markets. And it also wants access to some of the markets where it got left out, especially textile sector. Textile sector, India got badly affected with Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and so on. Now, with the higher tariffs, I think India will gain access to those markets. They also want much larger access in the mobile market. Today, India is only 36% of the mobile phones imported by United States is from India. Still, 49% is with the Chinese, and India says, we can cut costs and give us more access. We are giving you access to the markets that you are asking for. So I think India is now confident that it will not only get a preferential rate, but it will also get better access to the market as a reciprocal gesture for it opening up the market. So there is some very positive movement relative to all the kind of noise that you're seeing in the social media channels and the left-wing news, Sriji.
Thank you so much, sir. And there is breaking news that the French naval cyber database has been cyber attacked, and the hackers have actually published some parts to show that they are genuine and so on and so forth. This is a breaking news. Which is this group? Are they affiliated with any country? All this stuff is coming out. Just wait for a few more minutes. We are going to have another session with the good generals. At that time, we'll try and get you more light on that. Sir, we have a couple of questions from our viewers. Let's quickly go through them. Nitya Kalyani wants to know, why does Trump want to give pardon to Obama? It's not Trump, isn't it?
It's the SCOTUS.
Yes. Supreme Court of the United States. Yes. Santosh Oak wants to know, what is the reason for the ransom?
The reason is that some, what you call opaque argument that some money was committed by United States under the International Hague Agreement for abuses by Shah of Iran. So the money needed to be paid. This is the so-called back-end story. How many United States paying money because the Hague has passed the ruling? China doesn't do that. Philippines doesn't do that. India doesn't do that. What's the reason? I mean, as Sree Iyer pointed out, is it a ransom? No. Is it why? I mean, there's more than meets the eye as to what's the sense of urgency to send in a plane, pellets of cash mobilized in Europe to the Iranian good friends of Mr. Obama.
Yes, indeed. And that brings us to a close of today's program. Thank you so much, sir. Can we check and see if there are any questions in the app?
So I have one more news to break.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Well, not only the French, the CIA website, CIA site has also been hacked, and coincidentally now, when all this stuff is coming out, and some of the important information has been leaked, including the contacts, etc. So, who would be the set of people who would be leaking and hacking into the CIA site to release the information? Very interesting, Sriji.
Yes, indeed. And the nominees are, we will leave it at that. You can put down the nominees in the comments. We will pick it up and we'll try to answer them. Thank you once again, Sridharji. We'll see you again next Sunday, 7 p.m. Travel permitting. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend.